This is Glum, a unique first-person booter, not shooter. I would say it's like an arena game and there's certain enemies in an arena. You've got to find multiple ways to take them out, and trust me, there's a boatload of mechanics here that you can use to take out the enemies. So I will go over a few mechanics. There's a boot and you can bounce it off a wall, gain some height. If you do it in certain sections, it will give you a boost so you can get to further places. You can use this boot to kick enemies, mainly kick them into objects because it doesn't do much damage by itself, so you would kick them into a wooden crate or barrel, or kick the barrel or crate to them. Either way, it does a lot of damage. You can also kick the enemies into designated objects and it will crush the enemy or kill them in some way. These are scattered around levels, but holding left click is only going to be fun for so long, and that's what you use to boot people. You can also kind of shoot your boot, throw it in a way off your foot, and there's different abilities with that same mechanic. So you can use it just to do damage, or you can use it to grab an object and throw it to an enemy, or you can use it to link both enemies together, so throw them into each other basically. There's a few smaller mechanics like you can stomp the ground and it will levitate stuff within a certain radius. This allows you to boot the object or person higher in the air. If you wanted to attack an enemy up in the air, you could boot something to them. Or sometimes these levels have like buttons and stuff that you have to aim at and shoot objects or enemies to these things, and they will open doors for the next area, for example. So they're your main mechanics. You do unlock more as you go along. How is it to actually play? Because it sounds repetitive and it looks repetitive, but it doesn't feel that repetitive. There's a lot of different ways to kill people. You don't just have to do one thing. And these exact things that you're seeing is more of a tutorial showing you mechanics or just getting you used to the game. After this, you'll get into like an open map and it's got tons of things around to do. They will have more objects that you can throw enemies into. They will have lots of barrels, sometimes explosive barrels, and they will also do damage to you. Also, there's a lot more height going on. This is kind of a locked environment, I guess you could say. The graphics and sound effects, the style to everything is really great. It really feels impactful when you're doing stuff and hitting enemies and getting rid of them. Also, in these levels, you will find some hidden areas that you can maybe crouch to go through, and it will unlock like a whole pathway of just beautiful scenery. Kind of forgot to mention these enemies can easily kill you. So not too easy, but if there's multiple enemies attacking you, they can definitely do damage. More often than not, you will have time to take care of them and get rid of them in any way that you want. Here I'm actually experimenting with these different mechanics, and I did put both of the enemies together to knock each other to the ground. Also, there is a score with a multiplier in the right side of the screen, and it has a timer. If you don't kill an enemy within a certain amount of time, it will go away. By the way, you can throw chickens. There's also a mechanic which I completely forgot to describe. You can get an object, throw it in the air, and then kick it. This will allow you to just kick it at an enemy. It's like a football. You can treat it like a football in the the better football. Anyway, sometimes in these maps they will have like events which will put you in a more strict environment, but with tons of enemies and ways to kill them, and you can get that multiplayer going crazy. Also, take a look at this environment. I think it's actually really cool. You're kind of on a rooftop, which completely you don't have to even be up here. There is a ground obviously that you can go. It's just that I wall jumped off of something which boosted me up here really high. You can check this demo out. It is in the description, or you can just search it on Steam. The demo is live for Steam Next Fest. I don't know if it's longer than that. It's definitely a game worth your time. However, in this exact map, I did think it was a little repetitive. There's so many mechanics, different ways to kill people, but there's no incentive to actually do those. You know, you can just left click and bash someone into a barrel and you're gonna kill them anyway. So I know the environments will be different and everything, but the kind of gameplay premise is always going to be you're on a little map or a decently sized map, and there's lots of things around the map to kill these enemies in. You see this in so many different games, so it's not necessarily a bad thing, but here it's all you're doing. All you are doing is killing an enemy, putting him into and slamming him into an object, and just repeating that. But there's some little stuff like objects, collectibles in certain locations which you can't just easily get to. You've got to get somewhere special and do some special things to get up there. So yeah, go and check it out. I had fun for a little while. You might have a lot more fun than me. Demo is free on Steam. Anyway, just check it out for yourself. Anyway, without further ado, thanks for watching, thanks for your time, and goodbye.